interaction, one presentation away from a completely different life. Okay, welcome to our Life Coaching Foundations training. I'm your host and master trainer, Miles Statham Grant. It is great to have you here. I just want to make sure that you can all see and also hear me okay. If you see me looking down, I'm looking towards my computer screen. I want to make sure that you can see and also hear me okay. So I wonder if you could just put a 1 in the comments, just to let me know that you can see and also hear me okay. Yeah, I'm getting plenty of 1s in the comments. Thank you very, very much for that. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. Highly recommend that you put your phone on airplane mode. I recommend that you're watching this on your computer for a more visual experience. Here's what we're going to be covering in this session here today. We're going to be looking at the art of coaching. We're going to be looking at the business of coaching. We're going to be looking at how to market coaching. We're going to be looking at how to sell coaching. And we're also obviously going to be talking about the next steps to becoming certified and what that looks like for you as well. Everybody that's attending here today, as a gift from us to you, you will all receive our foundation certificate in our Master Coach training. We're an accredited life coach training company. This is our level 1 foundation certification for attending here today. There will be a link at the end of the training for that. Now, I must stress, just so you know, that does not mean that you are fully certified as a coach. This is a free training. This is kind of like the provisional driver's license, right? So this means that you have passed the initial first step. That doesn't mean that you're fully certified. We will talk more about that at the end. In fact, some of you have actually asked, what is the next step after this training here today? Really honored and flattered that many of you have done that. And for full transparency, this is our level 1. This is free. Beyond that, we have our internationally accredited Master Coach certification and 3-day live seminar. That is an investment. And then we also have an ongoing personal mentoring program as well, which is more about growing your business as a coach. And just so you know, for full transparency, just so that you're all aware right from the get-go, if those of you that want to do or are interested in doing our fully accredited Master Coach level 4, that's the highest level that you can get in life coaching. Usual investment for that is $6,995 plus VAT, and that is with no offers and no discounts. Now, one of the things that we are doing for this very, very special event here today is we're doing what we call a scholarship fund, where I'm going to pay for a portion of tuition for a handful of people. The reason why I'm doing that is because a long time ago, someone did that for me. And so for me, if you've not seen the movie Pay It Forward, highly recommend you do. For me, it's really about paying it forward. So I always said, when I create my own life coach training company, I want to make sure that I make it as easy and as affordable as possible for people that want to get started in life coaching. And so that's why we're doing a scholarship fund for this particular event today. For a handful of people, it's only going to be 8, but that is an opportunity. We'll talk about more at the end. Now, before we get into the session, let me check in with you. I want to ask you a question. Put a 1 in the comments if you're here because you'd love to be a really, really, really great coach. Put a 1 in the comments if you're here because you'd love to be a really, really, really great coach. Put a 1 in the comments if that's you. Excellent. This time, put a 2 in the chat. If you don't just want to be an amazing coach, you want to do it in a way where it gives you maybe more income and or more free time. Put a 2 in the chat if that's you. And finally, put a 3 in the chat if you'd like all of those things to happen last week. Hopefully laughing at my bad jokes already. Joking aside, my hope is that you're here because you want to be an amazing coach and you want to have a great lifestyle, and that you want to make a real difference in other people's lives, that ultimately gives you the life you know you truly freaking deserve. So my assumption is that's part of why you're here. So where are you now? Perhaps right now you're working too much. Maybe you don't have enough free time. Perhaps you're not earning enough. Potentially you know you want to become a coach, but you don't know how to find clients. Maybe you feel like you're doing work that you don't really love. Or perhaps you feel like you're not getting paid what you're truly worth. I want you to now imagine that you're now at a place where you are working a lot less. At this place, you now have a coaching practice that attracts clients to you. Over here is a place where you're now charging an expert fee for your coaching. Over here is a place where you now have a waiting list of people that want to work with you. Over here is a place where you're now only doing the work that you truly want to do, that you're gifted to do. And over here is a place where you have a profitable coaching business that gives you freedom. How would that make you feel? Put in the chat, how would that make you feel if all of that was happening for you now? What would you say to yourself if all those things were happening for you right now? What would your friends and family say if you had all of those things right now? How would your life look different? What maybe are you not able to do right now that you would be able to do? How would your life look different if you had those things? So the question we've got to ask ourselves is, how are you going to go from where you are to where you want to be? Well, in the world of coaching, there is one way to get there rapidly and to maintain it forever. And that is by having what we call a serve and sell coaching system. A serve and sell coaching system attracts people to you because it teaches valuable know-how. Know-how that your ideal client needs but does not have. And a serve and sell coaching system also invites people to take the next logical step to work with you. So the question you may be asking already is, so why then, Miles, does a serve and sell coaching system work so well right now? The reason is because never has there been a time in human history where you could broadcast your message so easily. In the past, you needed TV, radio, newspapers to get your message out. And this made it impossible for small businesses like us to play. But now, today, with the emergence of YouTube and social media, have made it a level playing field. However, that also means now that everyone can play. So your initial discovery coaching session has to be good enough to captivate and keep attention. Here's the thing. Most initial coaching sessions are very low quality and are frankly plain boring, which is great news for you, because when your initial coaching session is well crafted and delivered eloquently, it will really stand out. So hi, everybody. My name is Miles Statham Grant. I am your Master Coach trainer for today, and I'm the founder also of Master Coach University. But just so you know, it wasn't always this way. I now do events on behalf of Tony Robbins. I've had over £2 million in sales, had clients that have been in X Factor, clients that have been in movies such as The Matrix. I'm a best-selling author, but it wasn't always this way. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a time in your life where you thought you had life figured out, but it turned out maybe you didn't? Well, if you were with me back in August 2012, your life might have been about to just change forever as well. You see, if you were with me back in August 2012, in fact, if you were with me back in September 2012, just to take you forward a month, you'd have been here. This is my good friend Dave Luck's gym in East London, Galleon's Reach, if you know the area. Beautiful gym, friendly gym, not a posy gym, all different ages, all different shapes and sizes. On a sunny day, you could go out the back door of the gym, you could watch the planes landing and taking off in formation at London City Airport. It's a beautiful sight. I'll never forget back then, September 2012, one day a member said to me, they said, Miles, how come every time I come here, you're always here? And although it was a bit of a joke, the reason I was always there is because I was actually living there, specifically in this room in the back of the gym. The reason I was living in this room in the back of the gym is because in the August of 2012, my then girlfriend, Helen, told me she didn't want to be with me anymore. Have you ever been given news that you didn't expect? Well, me and Helen, we didn't fall out, just kind of drifted apart. Unfortunately, the flat that we lived in was hers, so I had to move out. I was too proud to go home to my mum's, and I was too embarrassed that I financially didn't have myself set up to go and get my own place. So I did what you might have done, which is turn to friends. I say friends of the family that we choose, right? Specifically turn to Dave. Now, to give you a picture of Dave, the owner of the gym, Dave is 6'5". He's got a bald head. He's got a big beard. He looks like a Viking. He's got tattoos on both of his arms. And he's like a bodybuilder, big dude. He looks intimidating, but he's actually a softie, right? And I messaged Dave. I called Dave and I said, mate, I need a place to stay. Could you help me out just for a few days? Broken up with Helen. I need a place to go just for a few days. He said, mate, don't worry. He said, you can come and stay with me and my wife, Camilla, as long as you need. He said, actually, mate, I've got a better solution. There's actually a sofa bed in the back of the gym, give you some more privacy. You can stay on that sofa bed. There's a back room in the back of the gym. You can have that room as long as you need. If you'll help me open the gym, close the gym, you can stay in that room as long as you need. I've got to pre-warn you, the room smells a bit like protein powder. You know that smell? He said, but you can stay in that room as long as you need. I'll never forget the day I walked into that room. That was a low moment for me. You ever had a low moment in your life? Silver lining to the story is I'm not actually homeless. I'm living in a gym. So I'm working out 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day, got the six-pack going on. One day I'm sat in reception of the gym on a Chesterfield sofa watching TV on a bracket on the wall. And Dave throws a book, almost like basically threw it at my head. Now, just to give you one more bit of Dave, there's a bookshelf in the back. You can see in that photo. And it's got on it, he's got books like anatomy, physiology, psychology, everything ending in ology. And he's also got books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Secret. Maybe you've heard of some of these books. Let me know if you have. And Dave threw this book at my head and he looked at me and he said, mate, it's time you started working this, pointing at my head. Not just these, pointing at my bicep. And the book that he threw at my head that day was Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Raise your hand if you've, well, give me a 1 in the chat if you've heard of Tony. If you haven't, he's like the world's #1 life coach dude, right? Big hands, the big dude from America, right? Oprah Winfrey's a client, Gerard Butler's a client, Usher, Bill Clinton, Serena Williams, you name it, right? Anyway, Awaken the Giant Within, great book, read it cover to cover in a week. Fast forward, April 2013, if you'd been with me, we'd been the VIP seats at the Excel Centre at London Docklands for Tony Robbins' event, Unleash the Power Within. 4 days with Tony Robbins. Never laughed so much, danced so much, cried so much in 4 days. Did the whole firewalk thing. Incredible experience. I remember getting on the underground to go home after that event and thinking, wow, what an amazing experience. 4 days with Tony Robbins. I also remember thinking, why isn't there an English person that does this? Which was then kind of followed by, well, maybe that's meant to be you doing that, Miles. Followed by another voice that said, who the bloody hell do you think you are? Who's got that voice? Who's willing to admit? Who's willing to admit that they sometimes, maybe, perhaps have that voice? Who's willing to admit that? Yeah. So I parked that dream, went back to the real world, got myself a good a good flat. I got myself a good car. I got myself a good job, right? And to everybody else, life was great again. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a time in your life where on the outside, everything seems great, but on the inside, you still feel like something's missing? That's how I felt. Because Tony Robbins had now done something in my brain, and now I couldn't unknow what I now knew. I'd love to say to you, I went in my boss Gary's office on the Monday and I said, you know what, Gary, I quit. But I didn't do that. I didn't have the courage to do that. But what I did do is I made a decision. And the decision was I was going to start to move down the road that I really wanted to move down, which was to get into like training and coaching and motivating and educating like Tony Robbins. So that's what I did. I went and got retrained. Did a life and business coach training, spent £6,000 doing that. And I started my first business, which still exists today, called Miles More Members. I can't take the credit for the name. Somebody else came up with that. Here's a question, team. Amuse me. Also, it's really good for engagement in the chat. I want to make sure that you're all getting this and following along so far. 6 months into starting my coaching business, how many clients do you think I had? Put in the chat, how many clients do you think I had 6 months in to starting my business? Okay, we've got a 4, we've got a 200. That's very nice. That's very kind of you. We've got a 30, got a 76, very specific, and we've got a 0. Thank you for the vote of confidence. And the person put in 0. It was 0. And the reason it was 0, truth be told, is because I didn't know what I didn't know about marketing. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know anything about marketing. I just thought if I become a coach, if I get certified, if I build it, they will come. Naive as that sounds, I thought that was enough. And incidentally, it wasn't, because I didn't have any clients. Now, the good thing is I became a bit of a regular seminar goer. And I went to an event in London. There was a guy on stage. His name was Dan Bradbury, Coach Dan, as I now call him, now a good friend of mine. And Coach Dan was already way more successful than me as a coach. He was already way more successful than the coach, and annoyingly was the same age as me. And also annoyingly did not have Tony Robbins' giant hands and Tony Robbins' American charisma. But the beautiful thing about Coach Dan, I love you though, Dan. Beautiful thing about Coach Dan is it kind of, what it did is it freed me of this comparison to the guru from the States. And so I enrolled and invested in getting some mentoring, some private mentoring from this guy, Coach Dan. And once I learned the business of coaching, my life looked very different. My business started to grow. Miles More Members started to grow. I started getting invited to work with big brands such as Fitness First, Easy Gym, David Lloyd, industry keynotes. From there, I got to start speaking on big stages alongside people like Ed Milet. This stage has been graced by people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone. And I'm a kid that grew up on a council estate in Birmingham, just to be clear. So I'm a nobody, and I'm sharing the stage with people like this. Now doing events on behalf of Tony Robbins. You know, I'm a kid that grew up on a council estate in Birmingham, left school with no grades, no particular skill, nothing special about me. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of telling you, like, if I can do this, then you can as well, right? And then from there, I've now had 500,000 video views online. I've had clients that have been in X Factor, clients that have been in movies such as The Matrix, best-selling author of a book called Coach Your Butt Off on Amazon. All proceeds go to charity, shameless plug. We're now the founder of Master Coach. We've trained over 50,000 people, done over £2 million in sales. £500,000 has been done from my living room in my house. I'm proud of that. I'm proud because every person that enrolls, we support an organization called Medical Relief International. They provide aid in countries such as Jordan and Syria. Every person that enrolls, we support a family for 3 months. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud because I met and married my best mate, Sati. She's my best friend. She is my better half. She is just a beautiful, wonderful human being, and I love her to pieces. I love you, Sati, so much. We have a great life. I now get to live a dream that I once used to write down on paper. We've now got the beautiful Sage, who is 5, and I get to be a dad to Sage. And I also get to be a dad to the amazing photogenic Zen, who is 2. And this is all, I'm telling you this, like, this is really important to me. This number 4 is the amount of days on average in a month that I work. And I tell you that not to impress you, but to impress upon you, because this is where I grew up. second floor on the right, brown bit, 8 Averhouse, Skipton Road, Ladywood, Birmingham. Raised by my mum, single parent on a council estate in Birmingham. My mum at any given time had 3 jobs. As a result, my mum never got to come and watch me play football. She didn't get to come to school productions or anything like that. My mum was always working. Now, weird, as a kid growing up, I thought if your mum's got 3 jobs, you probably got money. But we probably ran out of pay-as-you-go electric tokens at least once a week. So as a kid growing up, I made a decision. I said, when I grow up, I want to make sure 3 things. 1, I want to make sure that I have financial freedom. 2, I want to make sure I have time freedom to do what I want when I want to do it. And 3, I want to be a great dad. And now, luckily, I get to do all 3. And so it's safe to say that after 10 years, I know a little bit about coaching. In fact, I'm paid £1,000 per hour to coach some of the world's best coaches, because I teach people how to not only become certified, but also how to package, promote, and sell their coaching. Like Naomi. Naomi, great story, beauty therapist. Her words, I want to help people with their inner beauty, not just their outer beauty. Came on our Master Coach certification, £1,500 up front from her first client. How would you feel if you got paid £1,500 up front from your first client straight out of the gate? What would you say to yourself if you just did that? What would your friends and family say? How would your life look different if you knew that you had the ability to do that? Mustafa, similar story, personal trainer, wanted to add in life coaching, €1,200 up front from his first client. Jacob is a TikTok influencer. Don't worry if you're too old to know what that is. Jacob said, I don't want to just be an influencer. I want to use my influence for good. First paying client, £2,000 up front within 24 hours. Jonah, first paying client within 7 days, £1,700 up front. So you may be asking yourself now, well, what did you teach them, Miles? I taught them how to deliver one single coaching session that does all the heavy lifting for them. And in this presentation, I'm going to show exactly how it's done. By the time we're done, you too will know exactly what you need to do to build a coaching practice that you want, grow a coaching business, and reach your own time and financial freedom goals. And so just like a recipe, this has ingredients and an order and a sequence in which to mix those ingredients. So here are the ingredients. I want to introduce you to what we call the Lifestyle Coach Method. This we teach in our Master Coach University program. When it comes to having a great lifestyle as a coach, there's only 5 things that you need to know and do. Notice I said know and do. It's great to have knowledge, but knowledge is only powerful if you use it, right? So it's things you got to know and do, not 35, not 75, there's only 5. Here are the 5 things. First thing you got to do is you've got to master yourself. We call this the coach approach. Here's the thing. Most rookie coaches do not have their own coach. And the problem is if you don't have your own coach, it sends a message to say that you're talking the talk, but that you're not perhaps walking the walk. And the problem with that is if you don't have your own coach, it sends a message out to the world that you don't fully believe in what it is that you're selling. In contrast, the most successful coaches in the world, they will have their own coach. They will have their own coach because they want to practice what they preach. They want to make sure that they walk the walk. They don't just talk the talk. I believe if you want to be successful as a coach, fundamental first principle, you've got to have your own coach. Our students on our Master Coach Business University program get given a coaching partner to practice on, and they get a person to coach them through the program as well, which means that you're a coach that has their own coach. Number 2, assuming then that you've got your own coach, next thing that we need is we need a coaching system. We call this the Rapid Results Coaching System. Here's the thing. Most rookie coaches do not have a coaching framework, program, or system. The problem is if you don't have a framework or a system, it's like the equivalent of getting in a car with a driving instructor and the driving instructor expecting you to tell them what you're going to do. The problem is if you don't have a framework or a roadmap, the client isn't going to know if they're going to get results from you. Kind of like make it up as you go along. The old way, just so you know, of make it up as you go along used to work. but that doesn't work anymore. People want a framework, a methodology, a roadmap. They want to know if they're signing up for coaching. They want to know that they're going to get tangible benefit and tangible results. The most successful coaches in the world, like a Tony Robbins, they have a rapid results coaching system. I believe if you want to stand out, if you want to be seen as the best, one of the best coaches in the world, you need a coaching framework, a system, a methodology. Our students get given a coaching system suitable for anyone that virtually guarantees that when people sign up with them, they get the client results. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you'd love to guarantee that when a client signs up with you, they get results. Put a 1 in the chat if you really would love that. That's what happens for people that become our students. Number 3, let's assume then you've got your own coach, you've got a system. The third thing that we need is we need what we call the full diary formula. Here's the thing, most rookie coaches don't know how to market themselves. They either do no marketing or they do the wrong marketing. If you do no marketing or the wrong marketing, you're the world's best kept secret, meaning nobody knows you exist. And if nobody knows you exist, you can't help people. If you can't help people, you can't build this dream lifestyle that you want. In contrast, expert coaches, they are masters of marketing. And I believe if you want to be successful as a coach, if you want to have time freedom, financial freedom, make a big difference, you've got to learn how to stand out. I mean, you've got to learn how to do marketing. Our students get taught what we call the full diary formula, meaning we teach them how to fill their diary when they become certified without a website and without loads of social media posting. Hey, give me a 1 in the chat if you'd love to, on becoming certified, have a diary full of people that want to be coached by you, and it hasn't needed a fancy website and hasn't needed you to do loads of posts on social media. Give me a 1 in the chat if you'd love that. Great. That's what happens, our students that go through our program. Number 4, assuming then that we've got the first 3, the next thing we need is we need to know how to sell our coaching. Here's the thing. Most rookie coaches either don't know how to sell or they just frankly say, oh, I don't want to sell, don't like selling. The problem is if you don't sell, you can't actually help people. And if you can't help people, then you can't, if you don't help people get the life they want, you can't get the life that you want. The expert coaches in the world, they know that really when it's done congruently, when it's done from a place of integrity, all selling really is serving. And I believe if you want to help more people, you need to know how to serve more people. Our students get taught how to sell coaching in a way that has them effectively doing it without doing any hard selling whatsoever. Hey, give me a 1 in the chat if you'd love to sell coaching without feeling like you're doing any selling whatsoever. Yeah, good lot of you. Fantastic. We teach our students how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that in this session here today. And then number 5 is we then need to know how to scale our coaching. Here's why. Most rookie coaches only ever coach 1-to-1. And the problem is if you only ever coach 1-to-1, that's risky. Because if something happens to you or you get ill or a family member gets ill, touch wood, and you've got to work, you can't work, or you've only got a handful of clients and half of them cancel, your revenue just gone down. Coaching just 1-to-1 is really risky. The most successful coaches in the world, the expert coach in the world, they will have some form of group coaching process. And I believe that if you want to have a great lifestyle as a coach, the key to that is you need to know how to coach 1-to-many. You need to know how to present 1-to-many. Our students that go through our process get taught how to turn 1-to-1 coaching into group coaching, because ultimately what that will do is it will enable you to help an unlimited amount of people earn an unlimited amount of income in a minimal amount of time. Hey, give me a 1 in the chat if you would love to help an unlimited amount of people earn an unlimited amount of income and do it in a minimal amount of time. Give me a 1 in the chat if you would. Also, just give me a 1 in the chat if you're enjoying this so far. And if you're finding this useful, give me a 1 in the chat if you're enjoying it, if you're finding it useful. Okay, good. Okay, here's what we're going to do now. I'm now going to show you how to deliver a world-class discovery session that easily wins you clients. Now, we call this the serve and sell client creator. We actually give it a nickname. And the nickname that it's called in our world, I think one of our students gave it this nickname, is we call it the movie trailer. And the reason we call it the movie trailer is if you think about a movie and you think about a trailer, what sells the movie is not the director coming out on the screen and begging you to buy a ticket. What sells the movie is the trailer, the teaser, the taster. So the way to sell coaching in today's day and age is to give people a teaser, a taster, or a trailer to your full program. And when it comes to a trailer, a teaser, or a taster, there's 5 key things that you must do. Number 1 is you need to make sure that in the first minute or 2 minutes, you set the scene, meaning you want to let people know what to expect. Let people know what you're going to do in the session. Do you want to let people know very early? Most rookie coaches, they just dive straight in and therefore the person doesn't know what to expect. People need certainty, so let people know what's going to happen before you get into the session. Number 2, you want to seed that you have a coaching program. Here's the thing, most rookie coaches dive straight in and then they only talk about their program at the end. And the problem is if you do that, you've waited too long. And what often happens is the rookie coach goes all weird and turns into a salesperson. They feel uncomfortable and the prospect feels uncomfortable. The better way is to tell people about your program in the first few minutes. And I'm going to show you a video shortly where I demonstrate that with a client to show you how that's done. Next, once you've done that, you then want to serve the person. So now we start coaching. But one of the key things that we must do, most rookie coaches, all they do is ask questions. Questions are a key part of coaching, obviously. But another thing that we want to do is we want to give people new habits that they can install in their everyday life. Things, tips, tools, resources, rituals. My assumption is you listening, you watching me in this training is not the first kind of motivationally type thing that you've watched or listened to. My guess is you're the kind of person that listens to YouTube videos, that listens to podcasts, that you read books, that you've got a daily routine, you've got a morning routine. Maybe you're a crazy person like me and you do cold showers. Maybe you're a crazy person like me and you're at the gym at 6 a.m. Maybe you're a crazy person like me and you do loads of personal development, you listen to affirmations and do all this kind of wacky stuff. My assumption is some of that is maybe some of the stuff you do. But here's what you need to know. Most people out there in the muggle world, they don't do that. I remember I had a call with a client once and I said to her, hey, first hour of the day, don't be on your phone. She thought it was revolutionary. Whereas to you or I, you may hear that and be like, that makes sense. I said, don't be on social media for the first hour. She was like, why? I said, because that's just other people's agenda distracting you from being present. I said, you've got kids, right? She said, yes. I said, so every moment that you're on your phone, you're distracted from being present with your kids. In the long term, what do you care more about? Social media friends or your kids? She was like, oh, my kids. I was like, so get off your phone, play with your kids. She was like, oh my God. All of a sudden, 3 weeks later, she's like, my relationship with my kids is even better. I'm like, no surprise, right? Are you guys getting this, right? Give me a 1 in the chat if this is making sense. Next, this is really important. You need to change the client's state. This is key. Here's why. Most rookie coaches, all they do is they just talk. Ask questions, talk. Ask questions, talk. The problem is people buy, you need to write this down. This is really important. People buy everything that they buy, 80% of the time, people buy for an emotional reason. 20% logic, 80% emotion, 20% logic. So if you want people to buy life coaching when they don't really want it, but everybody needs a coach, but not everybody wants a coach. I guarantee if I went out in the high street right now and asked 100 people, do you have a life coach? They'd all say no. Very unlikely that somebody would say yes. And the only way to sell coaching to people that don't really want it is you've got to give them an experience. And one of the key secret ingredients of that, change their state. We call this the emotional buying initiator. When you make a person feel different, like make them feel really good, they're more likely to buy. Tony Robbins knows this. When he runs his live events, Unleash the Power Within, key thing that he does throughout the course of the event, he changes people's state. Yeah, he changes people's state. Tony knows that if people are going to implement and integrate the knowledge that he gives them, if he just talks, they may as well just watch him on YouTube. So you need to change people's state. I'm going to show you a video of that in a minute of me demonstrating how to do that. And then finally, assuming you've done all those things well, the sale bit is really, we call it the authentic closer blueprint, because actually this now is about the close, not the sale. Here's something for you to write down. Selling is hard work. Closing is easy. Write that down. Selling is hard work. Closing is easy. Write that down. Think of it like this. In a relationship, if a couple are together 10 years and the relationship's good and the relationship's strong, and they both talked about marriage and they both clearly want to marry each other, and one of them gets down on one knee and says, will you marry me? High probability, the answer will be yes. If the relationship's been good and they both talked about marriage. Will you marry me is the close. Okay, that's the easy part. The only way that works is if the relationship has been good up until that point. That's been the sales pitch bit. You guys with me? Give me a 1 in the chat if you are. So if you deliver an absolutely amazing initial discovery call, the close, said a little bit more articulate than this, is kind of, so we've had this initial call. Would you like to have more? In a roundabout way, that is it. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm now going to show you a presentation of me delivering a trailer. I'm going to show you the key components of the trailer, setting the scene, talking about the coaching program, showing you some habits, tools, rituals, showing you how I change the client's state. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to narrate over the top so that you can understand, now that I've explained and broken it down, you can understand what it is I'm doing and exactly why I'm doing it. So I'm going to do that for you as well. So pay close attention, make loads of notes, and we're going to get into that video now. Chico, my brother, welcome to the coaching call.
Thank you. Welcome to you too, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm amazing. Thanks. I'm amazing. Great to have you here.
Likewise.
Chico, let me first say before we start, I respect you immensely for creating the space to work on yourself today. Before we start, let me give you a quick overview of what you can expect from the call today. On our call today, I'm going to be coaching you in 5 life areas. I believe that if these 5 areas are mastered and worked on consistently, we become not only more successful, but also more fulfilled. All success in life starts with mastering these 5 areas. Feel free to write these areas down. The 5 areas that we're going to be coaching you on today are your clarity, getting really clear on where you are now. Vitality, we're going to look at your energy. Bravery, we're going to look at where you're maybe not speaking your truth as much as you would like to. Performance, we're going to look at your productivity and your level of presence with those you love. And impact, we're going to look at your big dreams and goals and maybe where you're not fulfilling your truest potential. For full transparency, brother, this session is a bit like a trailer to a movie, meaning if we were working together officially, we'd be needing to spend at least an hour on each of the 5 areas. So today, for the benefit of time, I'm going to ask you 2, maybe 3 questions for each area. For each area, I'm also going to give you what's called an elite performance habit. These are tools, resources, habits, or rituals that are tangible and that you can start implementing in your life straight after the call. Lastly, at the end of the call, if I feel that we are a good fit for each other and you're a good fit for my program, I'll spend just a few minutes telling you what the full program, what the movie to the trailer actually looks like. Other than that, are you ready to begin, brother?
Let's do it.
All right, so just to pause, so we're 2 minutes and 36 seconds in, and there's a couple of key things that we've done there in the first 2.5 minutes. The first thing that we've done is we've set the scene. So what that means is we've made it explicitly clear what's going to happen in the coaching experience so that the client knows up front. They know, that we're going to be working on 5 areas, that we're going to be asking a few questions from each, that we've got some tangible tools and resources that we're going to be working through as well. So that the client now is completely clear what they've signed up for. There's not going to be any surprises. They know exactly what's going to happen. And then the second really, really, really important thing that we've done is we've seeded your coaching system. So what this means is we've effectively pre-framed that this session today, using that analogy, is like a trailer to a movie. And you heard me say, if we were working together in a proper client coach relationship, we'd be spending at least an hour on each of these areas. For the benefit of time, we're only going to be spending a few minutes on each. So what we're doing is we're seeding that there's more to it than just this one session. A bit like joining the gym, having the induction doesn't get you the body of your dreams. Having a single driving lesson is not going to get you to pass your test. We're pre-framing, we're seeding that there's more to this coaching experience than we're going to be able to cover today. And then the final thing that we're doing to really remove the kind of the sales energy bit and get that out of the way is we're seeding that there is a program that follows this. And at the end, if I feel like you're a right fit for it, if you feel like you're a great fit for it, we're basically saying, we'll talk about that at the end. We'll talk about the pricing and the investments, all that stuff at the end. And what that does for you as the coach, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, is that gets it out of the way. You don't have to focus on any salesperson energy. You can just go fully into being a coach in your zone of genius. You've gotten all of that stuff out of the way, 2.5 minutes in, and now you can really focus on what you really want to do, which is coaching. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to speed it along. I'm going to show you the first example of what we mean by a kind of a tangible tool or resource that we want to give the client so that they start to feel like they're getting value even in this initial free session. So here we go.
And I want to kind of get around that somehow without feeling guilty, I guess.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Let's do an activity now, Chico. We call this an elite performance habit. If you're not already, which I know you are, I'd like you to sit down. And when you're comfortable, I'd like you to close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths, deeper than you've taken all day. With your eyes closed, breathing deeply, I want you to think of a word that would describe you at your absolute best. A word that would define the best of you. A word you would be proud if you heard the people that you love most describe you as. Chico, what word comes to mind?
I guess passionate. Passionate is passionate. I do everything with passion. Because I don't deal with mind, I deal with heart. And so passionate, because I believe that life without passion is a wasted life. I truly do.
Beautiful. Here's what I'd like you to do right now. I'd like you to put that word somewhere, like write it down, put it in a reminder in your phone that goes off every day.
Okay.
In your mind, maybe post-it note to your bathroom mirror, because I believe that truly the more that we focus on a word like that, it reminds us of how we need to live and show up each day. And it'll obviously give you greater clarity in life as well. So will you commit to doing that?
Of course.
All right, so that is the example of what we mean by serving the client, giving them something tangible they can take away. Here's the real benefit of that. Well, first and foremost, most unsuccessful coaches aren't doing that. Instead, they're just asking questions. But here's the thing, most people don't know what they want. And what we've done here is we've given the client something to focus on, something that's tangible, something that they can implement really easily in their everyday life, something that will help them to remember the coaching session by. And it's just a really powerful way of showing the client that you actually have valuable knowledge, know-how, and resources that can help them. And at this point, we're only 12 minutes in to this coaching session. The client by now is probably already starting to think, wow, I've only had coaching with you for 12 minutes and I'm already getting value. You know, you've already, you've clearly pre-framed what we're going to do, and you've already given me something tangible that's really powerful. If this client does actually take that word literally, put it somewhere where they can see it every day, imagine the impact on that person's life if they live that word passionate every single day, how that's going to impact their kids, their business, their family, their relationship, if they live by that word every single day. So really, really powerful way, an example of why it's so important to give a tangible tool or resource to your client on your initial trailer session. Okay, let me speed things along. I want to now show you what we mean by changing the client's state. This is really powerful. Arguably, this is the most powerful, impactful part of the trailer. This is probably the part that, speaking from experience, many of our Master Coach graduates will say, when they get feedback from their clients, from their prospects, you know, what did they most enjoy, find useful about the trailer? It's always this next piece. It's always often this next piece. So let me show you what I mean now by changing the client's state through breath work and through rapid changes to their physiology. So let me demonstrate that for you now. Oh, bear with me a second. Should we just slight pause on the video? Here we go.
Good awareness. Chico, let's do another elite performance habit. In fact, let's do a couple this time. One, to show you how you can remove all stress from your body within minutes. I know that this is very normal to you, what we're about to do anyway, master the breath. The other is to show you how you can quickly have peak energy whenever you need it, something you're very familiar with as well, but for the demonstration purposes. First, if you aren't already, which I know you are, I'd like you to sit comfortably. And when you're ready, please close your eyes again. With your eyes closed, focus on your breathing. Try and slow your breathing down, if you will. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to take 10 deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. On the out breath, breathing deeply, I want you to say to yourself, just in your mind, the word peace. The word peace will, in this time, represent you being at peace with any thoughts, any worry, any stress, or any tension in your life, if even just for those 2 minutes. So breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, 10 deep breaths. On the out breath, just say to yourself in your mind the word peace. When you're done, open your eyes, say I'm done, and we'll carry on with the call. Let's begin. How do you feel now versus how you felt before?
Amazing. Amazing.
Good, good. Very good, very good. Okay, now I want to show you how you can let go of any stress anytime you need, super fast. I want to show you how you can generate energy whenever you need it. If you're in a place where you can, please stand up, do that now, and shake your body out.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Where is the wrong?
Yeah. In a moment, I'm going to have you breathe very rapidly in and out of your nose. So you're going to be breathing in and out through your nose. So the breathing is going to sound a bit like this. So you're going to be breathing quite forcefully. Only do it if you feel comfortable, okay? At the same time, I want you to clap 20 times while running on the spot. So the thing that's going to be a bit like this. I'd also like you to have a big grin on your face the entire time. Yes, I'm serious about the grinning. Once you've completed the 20 claps, I want you to stop jumping. You started already. Once you've completed the claps, I want you to stop jumping, return to normal breathing, clench your fists like a tennis pro would, who's just won match point, and say as loud as you can, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive.
I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive,
yeah.
I'm alive,
now,
I'm alive.
Yeah, now I know this sounds silly, but let's see how you feel after I'm going to do this with you. So we're going to do the breathing, the clapping, the grinning, the running on the spot 20 times. At the end, we're going to go 5 times. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Are you ready, brother?
Let's go.
3, 2, 1, go. I'm alive, I'm alive,
I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive.
Yeah. How do you feel now?
I feel alive, baby.
Amazing, amazing. Well, look, whether you like my particularly wacky routines or not, they're just symbolic of how fast you can recharge yourself, reduce stress, feel energized just by rapidly changing your physiology and your breathing. I recommend that if you don't have something like that already in your diary, which I know you do, but I recommend that you schedule those in for morning, afternoon, and evening, and just see how they work for you. Are you up for that?
Absolutely.
All right. So that is an example of how we change the client's state. So you remember I said 2 ways to change the client's state: breathing and physiology. The reason that we want to change their state is first and foremost because most rookie, amateur, unsuccessful coaches will not be doing that. So the first reason we want to do that is to differentiate us from other coaches out there. A second reason is because ultimately we want to polarize opinion. You know, we want to create a feeling that by the end of the session, people are 100% in for this type of coaching or 100% out. And what most coaches are trying to do is trying to cater to everyone. And unfortunately, that's effectively why they don't succeed. And so whether you, as I said in the video, whether you like my wacky routines or not, they are just symbolic of the fact that people do not want coaching. As you probably maybe heard me say already, people do not want coaching. What they really want is to feel different. And the way to feel different all comes down to changing your state. So what you have to do to sell coaching in today's day and age is you have to change the client's state. You have to make them feel emotionally different. You have to make them feel that buying coaching with you will give them all the emotional states that they think they will get from buying other stuff, but that actually buying this is going to give them a long-term benefit, kind of like how meditation and exercise will give you a long-term benefit. You have to create that feeling inside of them. And what we've done here, you know, we're 21.5 minutes into the call. By now, they will be starting to run what we call their buying pattern. They're now starting to think, is this for me or is this not for me? And at this point, 21 minutes into the call, I can guarantee you people have already decided whether coaching with you is right for them or not. Whether they pay for it or not, that's a different thing. We'll talk about that later. But the point is, in their mind, they have already made an emotional decision. 21 minutes in, they've already decided, is this for me or isn't this for me? And you want to have them already decide that now. You don't want to have them deciding that at the end. And that's the real power of what we've just done. Okay, I'm going to show you one more piece, which is another piece, which is really around changing the client state. Slightly different, But I really want to demo this one for you because when you go off into your breakout room shortly, I want you to have a go at doing this one on your partner, and also I want you to all have an experience of this on yourself as well, because it's incredibly powerful. Here we go.
Another high performance habit with you. I think this one's going to be really, really powerful based on some of the things you've just shared. I'd like you to stand up again if possible.
Okay.
No crazy breathing techniques this time. I'd like you to stand tall, feet hip width apart.
Yeah.
Hands on your waist. All right, so kind of Superman pose. Chest and head pointing to the sky. Also put that beautiful big smile on your face. That's the one. Standing as if you were your most strong and confident self possible. You got it. Love that. Now, I'd like you to imagine that standing beside you with his hand gently resting on your shoulder is in fact the strongest, most confident version of Chico from the future. Fullest potential unleashed and the true best version of you.
Yeah.
With this in mind, with this best version of you beside you, supporting you, I want to ask you a few rhetorical questions. Just answer yes or no in your mind. Is there a difficult conversation that you've been avoiding? Is there a person or persons you've not fully spoken your truth to? Is there someone in your life you perhaps haven't forgiven? Is there a dream inside of you that you haven't yet fully acted upon? And if your most bold, courageous, brave self were in fact standing next to you now, let's call him Coach Chico. What would Coach Chico's words of wisdom be to you when he speaks to you now? Speak now as if you are Coach Chico coaching Chico. What does Coach Chico say?
Chico, you have a light in you. You have something, it's a gift, and you've been used as this instrument. Don't squander it in superfluous things. Share it with those that need it. Be a lion. Be fearless. At the end of the day, you know what you have to give. You know why you're here. You know your mission. You've got a clear vision. Now just execute every one of those at their optimum.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well done for speaking your truth, brother. Well done. From now on, when you're faced with a tough situation or a decision, I'd like you to ask yourself, what would Coach Chico do? What would Coach Chico say? How would Coach Chico act? And then go do that.
Okay, good. So hopefully you found the recording useful. Hopefully now you got a better idea of what needs to be in a discovery call. And look, as I said in the video, whether you like my seemingly wacky routines or not, remember all they are is symbolic of the fact that sales happens 80% of the time emotionally, only 20% logically. Bottom line is this: most people don't actually want coaching. Everybody needs it, but most people don't want it. So if you're going to sell something to people that they don't actually want, but we know they need, we've got to make people feel different. And a lot of what you saw there, if you do that, you will be successful as well. Hey, this is Richard Olpin, came through our program, enrolled in our Master Coach program. Within 24 hours, had his first paying client, paid him £1,500 within 24 hours. What did Richard do? Well, what Richard did is he used, as we call it now, the movie trailer, which is our discovery call framework, step by step, simple, proven, scientifically backed and researched template that if you follow that, you have a high probability that at the end, people will want to sign up for coaching with you. So now that you've seen that, let's now show you how when a client signs up with you for the long-term coaching, you virtually can guarantee that they're going to get results. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you want to make sure, if you're the kind of person and your heart's in the right place, that if someone's going to sign up for coaching with you, you want to make sure they get results. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to make sure that a person gets results. Okay, good. So then let's get into what we call the rapid results coaching system. Now, there's 2 types of coaching styles. You want to write these down. First style is freestyle. Second style is framework based. I use both, but when you're just starting out, if you want to build a great lifestyle as a coach, you want to use framework based. Here's why. One of the things I've learned about being successful as a coach is, as Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. So if you want to be successful, just model other people that are successful. In the beginning, I tried to figure everything out for myself. And what I've learned is if you want to be successful, just model other people that have succeeded already. So when I analyzed, as I thought about my own coaching journey, I analyzed the fact that Tony Robbins has an event called Unleash the Power Within. Now, I've attended this event multiple times. I've attended it with Sati. I've crewed this event. I have been a person who I've walked on the fire. I've even managed Tony's fire lane, right? So I've had people who I've been on the fire lane where Tony is at the lane with his microphone on, with his big hands, and he's telling people, make your move, like go across the fire, right? Anyway, one of the things that's interesting is many years ago, I had my probably 10th training manual from UPW, as it's called. And I realized it was evidently clear to me that Tony does the same thing for UPW as he's been doing for about 30 years. And I thought of that and thought, wow, if the best in the world is doing the same thing over and over again and is getting people results, maybe instead of me thinking that I need to be completely unique and different, maybe I just need to have a framework, a system, a methodology like Tony. So that's what I did. So here's what I've learned is that if you want to be successful as a coach, framework-based coaching is the fastest and easiest way to do it. If you want to build a great lifestyle, which guarantees that you get clients' results, framework-based coaching is the way to do it. Now, when it comes to building your own framework, I want to teach you how to do it. Write 5 S's down the side of your page. I'm going to take you through it now. First S is obviously the first thing we've got to do is we've got to serve people into the sale. So that means we've got to do a great job of the trailer. If we don't do a good job of the trailer, we're not getting people in our coaching system. So you have to be guns blazing, freaking 10 out of 10, unbelievable energy, peak state, heart of gold, level 10 energy, get your workout in the morning, drink your water, do your cold shower, make sure you're in a peak state, deliver an absolutely amazing, incredible experience in the discovery session. Next, you then have to make sure that your coaching framework has a structure. Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within is structured. He has a clear process for every single day. From day 1 to 4, Tony Robbins' event is structured. Next, your program, your system, your framework has to have run in a sequential order. Tony Robbins, what he does on day 1, he does on day 1 for a reason. What he does on day 2, day 3, day 4, he does in that order for a reason. So you need to make sure that your program runs in the right order. Next, you need to make sure that throughout your program, you do things to change a person's state. And then finally, you need to make sure that your program solves a solution to a problem. Really, really important. Now, our students that go through our Master Coach program get given a ready-made framework suitable for any niche. People often say, does this work for any niche? Think about Tony Robbins' event at UPW. In UPW, you'll have mums, Uber drivers, CEOs of multinational, all different walks of life, right? In a Tony Robbins event. So we know life coaching works for everybody because it's about a person's life. All right, just to be clear. So we have this program, this methodology, step by step. We work on people's clarity, their productivity, their energy, their life vision, where they need to be speaking their truth more. So many, challenging them to raise their standards, how they can be a better role model. And these sessions are just literally open your iPad or your tablet, read the sheet, go through it, take people through it. They have a worksheet that you can send to them for homework. Absolutely phenomenal, absolutely incredible. And at the end of the session, invariably what you'll have happen is you'll have the client going, oh my God, this was freaking amazing. I can't wait for the next one. And you'll say to them, well, wait till the next one, because on the next one, we're going to be working on this. And it's almost like you hook them in, you tell them what's going to happen on the next one. And they're like, oh my God, I can't wait for the next one next week. It's going to be amazing. All right. Really, really, really powerful stuff. Now, this is Tracy, who went through our process. Tracy came through our program. Won't mind telling you a little bit of this because Tracy won't mind me telling you. When Tracy came through our program, she was going through a divorce. And so for her, she was kind of going through a whole life change. She wanted more fulfillment from her career, came through our program, came through our Master Coach system. She had 6 paying clients and £12,000 within her first 3 months using the system. She also says, if you look at the screen there, talks about how her life's better and she's back doing her Wim Hof breathing, all this kind of great stuff. So Tracy doing some amazing, amazing stuff. So what did Tracy do? Well, she used this 12-session coaching system, ready-made program, like a Tony Robbins, suitable for any niche, guaranteed to get people transformation. Our students that go through our program get given this 12-session, absolutely world-class, scientifically research-backed process, 12 sessions, which guarantees that your client, when they signed up for long-term coaching with you, are going to transform, they're going to get breakthroughs, they're going to tell their friends and family about it. It is absolutely phenomenal. So just to remind you, 5 things that we need to know and do to be successful as a coach. Number 1, we need our own coach. Number 2, we need a framework, a system. Number 3, we need to know how to market. Number 4, we need to know how to sell coaching. And number 5, we need to know how to scale our coaching. So here's what we're going to do. We're now going to move into the marketing portion of the training. Before I do, just want a quick check-in again. 1 in the chat. Are you enjoying this? And are you finding it useful? Give me a 1 in the chat if you're enjoying this and if you're finding this useful. Okay, good. So let's dive into marketing. So when it comes to marketing your coaching, 4 key things that you need to know and do. At a high level, here's what you need to do. Number 1, you need to make contact. In fact, write 4 C's down the side of the page first. This is really simplifying. This is like getting clients 101. Number 1, you need to make a contact. Building a business, coaching is a contact sport, right? So you've got to make contacts. Number 2, you've got to connect. Got to start to build a relationship. Next, you've got to coach the person. And then you've got to close the person, right? In its most simplest form, that is the 4 steps to building a coaching business. I told you a lot of what building a coaching business, by the way, just so you know, is really simple. Notice I said simple, not easy, right? Bit like exercise, right? Exercise is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple, right? Really, really simple when you follow those steps. This is Anna. Anna came through our process. She had dreams of being a coach, came through our process, no idea. She was like, can I do this? Wouldn't know how to do marketing. That was her biggest concern. Her biggest fear was like, I wouldn't know how to do the marketing bit. She had 15 people in her diary before she'd even become certified. How cool is that? Question, how would you feel if you'd got 15 people booked in your diary and you've not even been certified yet? How would that make you feel? What would you say to yourself if you'd got 15 people booked in your diary and you'd not even been certified yet? What would your friends and family say? How would your life look different if you knew that you could have that happen? You may be asking, how on earth did she have 15 people booked in? She's not even completed her training yet. How did she do that? Well, what she did is she went through a training which is called the Full Diary Formula, and it teaches people how to fill their diary when they become certified without a website and without loads of endless social media posts. We've had many students that have gone through that have filled their diary straight out of the gate. And basically, Anna went through this training as soon as she enrolled in the program, she did that program straight away. And she was like, why should I wait? So she basically followed the process. She told the people that she was inviting, hey, I've not been certified yet. I'm completing my certification next week. So I'd love to book you in so that I can literally get started straight away once I've been certified. Would you be up for booking in? Said more eloquently than that. They said, yeah. 15 people said, yeah. And that's what happened. It's freaking cool, right? Really, really cool. Now, this is an area a lot of people get stuck, niching. So I'm kind of want to simplify niching for you. Here's what you need to know about niching. Write this down. Generalists seek clients, clients seek specialists. Let me ask you this. Let's imagine that you wanted to get a new driveway done at your house, and you saw an ad. Who would you be more likely to choose? I'm just going to pick a town. Watford Handyman, who does patios, doors, conservatories, windows, window cleaning, guttering, cleans your wheelie bins. He's also a personal trainer on the side. Or would you choose Watford's premier #1 award-winning driveway specialist? Which one would you choose? Put in the chat. My guess is you'd choose the second one. Why? Because the second one is a specialist. Most rookie coaches are a generalist. They tell everybody, hey, I'm a life coach and I can help you with everything. You don't want to do that. So here's what you want to do. You want to niche down to one specific area. The good news for you to know is there's actually 3 categories of niche. Only 3, but you want to pick the one that you have the most experience in at the moment. First, health. Second, wealth. Third, relationship. So of those 3, which one do you have the most experience in? Okay, so that is what you want to do. You want to decide which one do you have the most experience in. Now, this is Carrie. Carrie is a vocal coach. She used to be a teacher in FE colleges, had a good job, but she wanted to get out of that job. Heart wasn't in the job. I'm not going to play the video of Carrie for you.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So Carrie,
so I'm not going to play that video for Carrie, but what I do want to do is kind of speed things along for you. 2 weeks after becoming certified, Carrie had her first 2 paying clients. Shortly after that, about 6 weeks after that, I got a 2-part WhatsApp audio message from Carrie, and I'm going to play this on from my phone for you now. Here you go.
Hi, Miles. I just wanted to send you a quick message to thank you because today I just realised that I've made more money in my business. Well, okay, I'm going to call the coaching and the voice coaching business together. I've made more money in my businesses than I ever have before. And in the month of July, I have made more money than my job pays me for, I think, maybe the second time ever. So I just wanted to say thanks for everything that you do and for giving me the opportunity to, I'm getting emotional, to do something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. So thank you. Have a lovely evening and a lovely weekend. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, I then got this follow-up part from Carrie. This is the part 2. About 5 minutes after.
Actually, I'm going to follow that up and say I've just worked it out and I made more money this month than I ever made when I was in full-time employment ever in my life. So again, thank you.
All right, there you go. Give it up for Carrie. So what did Carrie do? Well, what Carrie did is she actually went through training, which is called Nail Your Coaching Niche, which is a training that our students get when they go through our Master Coach program. That's what Carrie Griffiths did. Okay, moving on. So here's what we're going to do now. Now I'm going to talk more about the earning part of coaching. Here's a question. Give me a 1 in the chat if you're here, because you're genuinely interested in the idea of like turning this into a proper business for you. Like you're the kind of person that's here that in an ideal world, you would be able to get certified and have this become a new source of income for you. Give me a 1 in the chat if that's you. Okay, good. So a few different ways to do it. Number 1 is you may want to do it fully self-employed. This is Hillary. Hillary is a language teacher. She has added life coaching in alongside her language coaching. In addition to her language teaching, she 4 weeks after becoming certified, she had 4 paying clients and have made £6,000, so about £1,500 per person. Other option is you stay in your job and you become an in-house coach. This is Omo, who works in legal. Omo now does, in addition to her day job, she now is doing legal coaching, like within her organization. And she's now earning a secondary income doing legal coaching. Initially, she was making around £1,500 per month additional income. We had a call. If you have a look at the text message there, we had a call. And I basically gave Omo a strategy where I said, if you do this, I'm not going to say what it is because she's a private client. If you do this, then you could increase your revenue for your coaching without much effort. And she did it, and she made £4,750 in additional income the following month, which is really good. You could be a corporate coach, so you may want to coach in the corporate world. This is Carol, who is in the Czech Republic. He's got 5 paying clients, made £15,000. This is maybe you want to do small business coaching. This is Jackie, a care worker from Birmingham, went through our process, working long hours, got 7 grandkids, no time, wanted to get out of her job. That was her goal. She sent me this really nice message about her getting onto local radio. But what was really amazing is 12 weeks after completing Master Coach, she'd made £24,540. I must stress that's not a typical result. That is still to this day hasn't been beaten, but it is possible, right? You know, it is really, really possible. Here's what I want to do. I want to give you something that's more realistic, straight out of the gate. Here's a simple route to getting to around £5,000 a month as a coach within the first 90 days of being certified. Here's what you need to do. Write these down. Number 1, you need to deliver 12 discovery initial kind of trailer calls in a month. So that's about 3 a week. Out of the 12 trailer calls, your target is 5 people enroll at £1,000 for 12 weeks coaching. That will bring you in 4,975 per month. That's from 3 hours a week. Give me a 1 in the chat if you'd be happy to work 3 hours a week on your coaching business for you to generate that type of additional revenue. Give me a 1 in the chat if you would. Okay, good. So 2 key elements that will help you to do that. Many of the things we've talked about already. One is we have a training called the 50K Roadmap. Our students that go through our program get this. It's the exact formula to the first 50,000 as a coach inside 12 months. That is a training that's included for our students that go through our program. And what's also included in our program, our students get our business coach training and certification. This is what Jackie did. So one of the reasons why Jackie did 24,000 in 12 weeks is because she started coaching businesses. Little tip for you. There's a lot of businesses right now that if you do a really good kind of discovery hour first session and you show them the hidden revenue and profit in their business and you do it for free and they're like, oh my God, you've shown me how I could make ABC more money in my business. And this is the free session. And all of a sudden you propose that you're, $2,000, $3,000, £5,000 for 12 weeks coaching. You've shown them how to make that in one strategy. They're now like, what would happen if I work with you for 12 weeks, right? It's very easy to sell business coaching because the results are really quantifiable and tangible. So all these people that I've shown you are graduates of our Master Coach program. So here's what I'd like to do. With your permission, is I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about this program. Now, if I have your permission, could you put a 1 in the chat? That would be super helpful if you can. If you could put 1 in the chat. I'm also gonna jack it off because I'm getting very warm in the studio. I wonder if you can put a 1 in the chat if I have your permission to talk about the program with you. Put 1 in the chat. Okay, good. So first, let me kind of talk about who this is for and who this is not for. It's not for people who are dabblers. Okay, it's not for people that are here just to get a free certificate that says, oh, I've done a foundation training, I'm a life coach. If that's you, said with love in my heart, I love you the same. This is not for you. This is for people who are seriously committed to building a coaching practice that want to make a real difference in the world. This is an internationally accredited program. Okay, so this is rubber stamped, internationally accredited by the International Authority for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. So this is accredited at the highest standard. This is a 30-hour do it from home coaching program. You will be internationally accredited on our life coaching level 4 life coaching certification program. What's also included is a 3-day live intensive, live on Zoom from the comfort of your own home. What happens on that training is we teach you how to start, grow, scale your coaching. There's other speakers, teach you all different types of things, going to teach you about business of coaching, NLP, social media, public speaking, amazing stuff over the 3 days. And what also happens over the 3 days is you also get to practice your coaching with a practice partner, and you get other people coaching you as well. So not only are you coaching, but you're being coached as well. What's also included is the trailer, the trailer, the serve and sell. Like, this is the bit which means that you can easily sell coaching without being a salesperson. This teaches you how to do that. What's also included is the 12-session coaching system. This is the ready-made coaching program, which guarantees that when a person signs up for 12 weeks of coaching with you, they're going to get results. Now, what we generally do is we generally charge people a license fee to use the system of £500 a year, but I'm going to include a license fee in there for free for life. What's also included is a practice partner. So you're going to get assigned a partner to practice with, and you're going to coach them and they're going to coach you. So that means you're going to start to really gain confidence as a coach before you even complete your certification. What's also included is a training called Group Coaching Mastery. That's going to teach you how to turn your one-to-one coaching into group coaching. That's really where you're going to have the time freedom. You're going to get the niching training, so you know how to build a profitable niche like Carrie. You're going to get the Fill Your Diary training, so you know how to fill your diary without a website, without loads of social media posts like Anna. You're going to get the 50K roadmap, so you know how to get to the first 50K. You're going to get the business coach training, so you know how to get those really juicy, big ticket clients like Jackie. You're also going to get a private WhatsApp group, so you've got regular help, regular support, ask questions in there. I'm in there every day as well. And you've got a couple of other things. One's called Life Map. This is a training which is going to help you map out your whole life. Obviously, if you're going to be a coach, you need to be working on yourself. And then finally, you're also going to get a branded website. So what this means is you're going to get your own branded coaching website, so you can have a presence out there online, which will be really professional for you when people want to check you out on the internet. As I mentioned at the beginning of the training, usual investment is $6,995 plus VAT. That's with no offers and no discounts. I mentioned right at the beginning, you may have forgot by now, that I'm running a scholarship fund where I'm going to pay a significant portion of your tuition. That's for 8 people. The reason why I'm doing that is because when I enrolled in my coaching program, someone paid towards my training. And so I always said, when I had my own model, I would pay it forward. I want to tell you kind of why I really do what I do. So for me, all those years ago, watching Tony Robbins, having a feeling inside me, I'm sure many people did, having that feeling inside me that I wanted to help and make a difference in other people's lives. And now I've been able to do it. I always just kind of felt like, I was different. I always felt like I had a gift. And the fact that you're here in this training tells me that you also have a gift. Like, you think different to other people out there, right? And that gift of wanting to help and wanting to make a difference in other people's lives, I think it's really important that you don't keep that. I think it's really important that you share that. I'll tell you a little story. Little girl gets up on Christmas Day. Somebody told me this recently. I wanted to put this in. She's 3 years old. Maybe you remember that feeling of being a kid at Christmas, right? She goes downstairs to open her presents. She opens the first one and she's like, hey, it's the same present as last year. She opens the second one, third one, fourth one. She's like, hey, they're all the same presents as last year. She goes upstairs to mum and dad's room. She says, Mum, Dad, you brought me the same presents as last year. Why would you do that? Why? And mum leans out of the bed and she says, because you haven't used them yet. And then her mum says, use your gifts next year and you'll get more. And then she says, share your gifts next year and you'll get double. So my question to you is, are you going to share your gifts before it's too late? For me, getting to be here with you today, for me, this is a gift. As a result of going through, working with Tony Robbins, becoming a coach, learning these skills, I now get to live my version of my dream life. What's your dream life? Is it speaking on stage? Is it working on a laptop from the beach? Is it just getting to the schoolroom more often? Is it a new house by the sea? What is it? For me, I believe if you want to get to your dream life, you got to help other people get to theirs. Someone was there for me many years ago, helped me, and now I also get to be a mentor to others. And now I just want to pay it forward. So remember Jackie I just spoke about, care worker from Birmingham, 24,000 in her first 12 weeks. Here's a question. Who here would love to build a great lifestyle coaching business like Jackie that gives you your version of time and financial freedom? Give me a 1 in the chat if you do. Give me a 1 in the chat. That in your own way, like Jackie. Give me a 1 in the chat if you do. Okay, good. Okay, so look, this is effectively, this is what we're going to do together. I am going to select 8 people for a scholarship place where I'm going to fund 80% of your tuition. Now, there's 2 reasons why I'm doing that. The first reason is because when I did my life coach training many years ago, somebody paid an unnamed person, they want to remain nameless, somebody paid 80% of my tuition. So I said, whenever I'm in a position to pay it forward, if you've seen that movie with Haley Joel Osment, I said, whenever I'm in a position to pay it forward, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So when we built our accredited model, I said, at some point, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to select 8 people. And just for full transparency, this is application only. Another reason why I'm doing it is because what I want to do, my intention is that the 8 people will provide me with a testimonial. Obviously, you've got to have skin in the game. You've got to invest something. Other people tend to not value things that are free. So there is going to be an investment, but it's affordable for everybody. And I want to then get a testimonial from the 8 people that I can then use in our marketing on social media, our paid advertising, that kind of stuff. Now, this is going to be application only. So everybody is going to have the opportunity to apply. What's then going to happen is you're going to have, if your application is accepted, so one of my team is going to go through all the applications. There's inevitably going to be a lot. And what's going to happen is if your application is successful, basically, if we read it and we feel that you're a really good fit, you're going to then have a no obligation interview, probably with me, or maybe even Sati, my wife, one of the team. And what we'll do is we'll talk about your coaching goals, like what is it you really want to achieve? Why did you come to the training? Why is being a coach important to you? We'll also talk about how to get your first clients, like immediately after being certified. We'll talk about that. We'll show you how, like if we work together, how to get to the first 5,000 per month inside the next 90 days, give you a clear plan, a clear roadmap to execute, which you can either run with yourself or, if appropriate, we can work with you to put it into action. Talk about getting you fully certified on our internationally accredited training. So you can obviously finally start building a lifestyle coaching business that gives you time freedom. Obviously, as I've just said, there is a small fee to take part in the scholarship, and there are payment plans available. So don't sweat. There are payment plans available if you're, financially in a sort of spot or whatever. There are payment plans available where you can split up the payments. So all you need to do at this stage, in a minute, there's going to be a link on the screen. Start filling in the application. Literally do it while we're on the training now. If accepted, you'll then have your interview. So you fill in the detailed questionnaire. Tell me all about you. Go to as much detail as possible. The clue is the more detail, the more likely you are to get chosen for the scholarship. Why you want to become a fully certified master coach, why it's important for you to, change lives, make a difference. That's really important to me, that you're not just doing this for the money. Why you want to make £5,000 to £10,000 a month. There's nothing wrong with that being an important part for you as well. Money, it gives you freedom to do stuff, right? And then tell me why I should consider working with you. Like, I only want to work with the right people. I'm a big believer that you as a coach should only work with people you want to work with. I only want to work with people that I like, and you should be the same, right? I've got a couple of clients, Trudy and Michelle. Hey, Trudy and Michelle, if you're watching, who bought Sage a bag, a school bag for her first day at school with her name embroidered in it on the back. Beautiful gift. And she wore it on her first day of school. And I sent them a photo and I said, again, thank you so much, right? Beautiful. I want clients like that buy me stuff. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. But I want to work with people that I like, right? So it's really important that you do that too. So if we feel that you aren't the right fit for the scholarship, we'll politely decline the application. No harm, no foul. Also note, you're also under no obligation to work with me. So all you got to do is there's a link on the screen. There should be a link in the chat as well. There should be a QR code on the screen now. There you go. Click on that, scan that right now. So I'll give you a second to do that. Have a mouthful of water. So scan that QR code with your phone. And if you're on your computer, then you can, there should be a link in the chat there as well. So make sure you scan that, make sure you've got that. Have you all got that? Is it open okay? Should do. Okay, good. So assuming that everybody's got that link, obviously what we'll do if you make it onto the interview with myself or Satya, one of the team, is we'll obviously talk about the internationally accredited program. I must stress, said from a place of absolute congruence, the scholarship's only for 8 people. So if you are really interested in becoming fully certified and also love the idea of being able to build a coaching practice, which helps you earn anything from £5,000 to £10,000 a month in the next 12 months, all you got to do is choose a slot. So make sure you click, scan, whatever it is you need to do on the QR code to make sure you've got your application ready. And if you've got it already, start filling it in now because we're about to wind up the session. Just to be clear, it is only for 8 people. And just a reminder, the reason why it's 8 is because I'm looking for a handful of people to use in our paid advertising. And the reason I'm doing the scholarship is because someone paid 80% of my tuition when I got certified and I swore I'd pay it forward. Yeah. So that's why we're doing this project only for today. So here's what it is. Just to remind you, Master Coach is an internationally accredited certification at the highest level of life coaching. What it also includes is a ready-made coaching framework suitable for everybody. Remember Tony Robbins? Tony Robbins has a seminar, 10,000 people in it, all walks of life. Single mums, Uber drivers, doctors, nurses, CEOs of multinationals, personal trainers, you name it, right? Coaching is for everyone. Doesn't matter what phase of life a person's at. This program, that 12-session system is for everybody. You also get your own coach, because obviously you got to work on your stuff. You also get a person, a practice partner to practice on. You also get a ready-made business. So obviously you've got the business coach training, how to get the first 50,000, how to fill your dough, all the marketing stuff that you need to get yourself up to that first 5,000 per month is in this program. Step-by-step framework. Remember, what do we call it? The trailer. You've got the trailer, step-by-step, scientifically backed, research-backed framework. So you can deliver an amazing free discovery trailer session, which means that it's really nice and easy and simple for you, proven to work for you to enroll people, to enroll your ideal clients. And obviously, remember, this is a location freedom-based business. This is the beautiful thing about when you're a coach. And ultimately, what this is really going to give you is a really nice, fulfilling career, changing lives, making a real difference. If you haven't already, make sure you scan that QR code now. Here's a question. Have you heard of Roger Bannister? Give me a 1 in the chat if you heard of Roger Bannister. See, those of you that haven't, Roger Bannister ran the first 4-minute mile. What I love about Roger Bannister is not so much Roger Bannister, he was amazing. What happened after Roger Bannister ran the first 4-minute miles, really what's interesting. After Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile, in the weeks that followed, I think there was like 36 other people also ran a 4-minute mile. So the moral of the story being, believing is seeing. Once people had seen that it was possible, other people did it too. And you've seen people doing great results here today. Naomi, £1,500 up front from her first client. Mustafa, €1,200 up front, first client. Jacob, £2,000, first client. Jonah, £1,700, first client. Richard Olpin, £1,500, first client. Hillary, 4 clients. Omo, £4,750. Carol, 5 clients. Jackie, 24,000 from 12 weeks. You've seen people doing amazing things here today. The key now is for you to go, well, if normal people like that can do it, then I probably can as well. And you definitely can. So here's what you need to do. If you haven't already, scan the QR code on the screen and get yourself booked in for, fill in the application form. And then if accepted, once myself or one of the team review your application, you will then have your one-to-one. Really important that if you're accepted for your call, make sure you pick up the call immediately. All right. A lot of people are going to be filling an application in. It's only for 8 people. It's probably going to be an unknown number. So be ready to answer at the time that you book in. Really, really important that you do. Frequently asked questions. When does the training start? You will get as soon as you enroll, you will get all the online training elements. So you'll have a lot to be working through as soon as you enroll in the program, if accepted. The training is fully accredited by the IAPCNM. That's the International Association for Professional Coaching and Mentoring. Very long-winded. We run the live training every 6 weeks. If you want to enroll in the scholarship, if accepted, there has to be a payment straight away. There are payment plans available. We work on niching. You get a training that teaches you all about niching. And we're also going to help you with your pricing. So don't worry about that. It will take, you'll complete your certification as soon as you've completed the 3-day training. So as soon as you've completed the 3-day training, that is when you'll be fully certified. You won't have to do any selling because the trailer, that initial discovery call, does all the work for you. Everything is on Zoom, so you don't need to travel to the UK. You have access to all the online trainings for life. This can be used to deliver to groups and live events. It definitely works for people of different faiths because we've had a lot of people from different faiths. We've had people do this before that have already done coach training, that have done NLP. So you'll definitely find this worthwhile if you're already trained in one of those modalities. You can pay however you need to, bank transfer, PayPal, Stripe, whatever works for you. You can start in a few months, but there has to be, you have to enroll. So you've got to make a payment initially. If you can't make the 3-day live event for a few months, that's fine. But the same thing applies. You have to be in the 8 and you have to make a payment for you to be able to take part. Hopefully that answers that question. This is really done at your own pace. So it's not going to be too fast if you're a slow learner. I'm a slow learner. Do you deal with the fear of marketing and selling? Yes, we do. You will be coaching during the program. You will have your own coach as well during the program. That will start as soon as you've enrolled. You'll get assigned a partner straight away. How soon should I expect to get clients? It's a bit like joining the gym. How soon should you expect to see results? If you do the work, there's no reason why you couldn't be like Anna, have a diary full of people before you even complete your certification. All you need to do now, scan the QR code or click the link in the chat and get yourself booked in, fill in the application form, start doing that now if you haven't already. And then once you've done that, if accepted, you'll have your call. Make sure you pick up the number. It may be an unknown number. Just to be clear, this is for 8 people max. It's not 9, not 10. It is purely for 8 people. Those of you that want to get your free certificate for today, there is a link now in the chat for you to grab that. There is also a QR code on the screen. Scan that, you'll get into our free coaches community. So that is where you'll get your certificate. So go in there, you'll get your free certificate. So those of you that want your certificate for today, grab that. Here's what I will say. If you're here and you're still on the fence, here's what I'm going to say. If your gut intuition or your instinct or your heart is telling you this feels right for you, here's what I encourage. Always, always, always follow your intuition, because your intuition always knows what's right. Yeah. So here's what you need to know. Your brain is hardwired to keep you safe. The problem is the brain doesn't know the difference between rational fear and irrational fear. So kind of like if you're in a zoo and you hear a zookeeper shout, run, what do? Right? You run. If your gut intuition is telling you to do something, like I remember many years ago when I met my now wife, Sati, right? And I got butterflies in my stomach. I was scared. Thank God I went to say hello. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Sage and Zen and we wouldn't have been together for 10 years, right? That was irrational fear. Butterflies is irrational fear. So you got to know that if right now you feel scared, but your intuition is telling you this is right, it's probably a sign that this is exactly what you need to do. And hey, don't take it from me. You probably wouldn't be still listening to me now if this training hadn't to some extent really resonated with you. So if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click the QR code, fill in the application. It costs nothing to have a conversation. This is a no obligation conversation. Costs nothing to have a conversation, but what we'll do is we'll talk about why you want to do this. And my assumption is the fact of the matter is you saw an ad about a life coach training. You could have ignored it, but here you are. And you're here still at the end. Probably the sign, actions speak louder than words, that this is probably exactly what you need to do. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to leave you with a video from Jackie, which I want to play with you. I want to tell you it's all been an absolute pleasure to have you here today. I'm going to get myself off this training now because I want to get myself ready to start taking the calls, because I'm seeing already in the diary that there are calls getting booked in. So if you haven't already, make sure you get your call booked in the diary, which is going to be with me or one of the team. So make sure you fill in the application form. And all there is for me to say is watch this beautiful message from Jackie. She just wants to share with you. Jackie's the care worker from Birmingham, did 24,000 in the first 12 weeks. I thought I'd play you a quick video of her sharing her experience of how she did that. And she's got some great words. She's a great speaker in her own right. So make sure you listen to Jackie. And all there is for me to say is I want to wish you all health, wealth, happiness. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here on the training today. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And I really, really hope to see you all getting fully certified as a master coach in the near future and going on and helping people and making a difference, living your dream life and helping other people do the same. So that's it from me. It's been a real pleasure having you here today. Go ahead, if you haven't already, get yourself booked in for the call. And I'll really, really look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. All the best. See you soon. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, we are. Perfect. Jackie Bergwijn-Turner, great to have you here. Thank you for being you.
Thank you, Miles.
Great to have you, Jackie. Great to have. So, Jackie, for the benefit of this interview, I wanted to ask some questions from you. So, you joined our Master Coach Business Accelerator after you did your Master Coach training. What made you decide to do that? What was your primary reason for doing that?
Well, before I actually got on there, I found myself, I was feeling stuck and trapped. I was confused about what I was doing. I was slaving 9 to 6. And even though I had a dream, I couldn't see that dream coming. After doing that one day Master Coach with you, the accelerator was the key. I'll tell you why. It offered me something and it gave me what it served on the plate. And I'll never forget it. Clarity, direction, energy, productivity, and performance. That was what was sold to me. And I walked away with everything. That actually changed everything about me, because now, whereas I could see my business was in a constant struggle, I could see a way out, Miles. And yes, I was completely exhausted, and you offered me a lifeline. I could see it.
Good. So you were starting to kind of allude to what life was like before. Tell me with a bit more detail, Jackie, what was life like before in terms of like amount of hours you're working per week, roughly income as well, if you're willing to disclose anything, even just roughly. What was life like before you got your coaching business going?
Oh my God. Life like before was I got up at 4 o'clock. I was a forensic mental health, worldwide forensic mental health social worker. So I traveled. There's only 13 around us. I travel from place to place every day, not knowing where I was going to go. But I'd start out to Wales one day, to Devon the next day. I was just all over the country, the north, the south, the east and west. I'd leave at 4 o'clock. I'd get back home at 8 o'clock on the evening, then try and do my children's homework, then get everybody settled for bed. By now, I've still got case notes to read, planning for tomorrow. I used to sleep 4 hours, and it was like 3 to 4 hours a day, and that's how I run till To be honest, I had actually had a mild stroke as well with the stress of it before I came to you. And this was all down to work. I was earning money wise. I had no clients. Well, I did. I had 4 clients. I got them up to 8. I charged £1,500. I remember.
So before you get to that, talk about your day job. So before we get into that, I want to save that. I want to save the juicy stuff for the end. So your day job, roughly, what were you just earning from day job?
I was the manager. I was a forensic manager in social services. So I managed a team. I was a residential responsible individual, area social care manager, and the manager of the adult social care team. Okay. I traveled. So every day I just ran all day to different organizations, reviewed, monitored. I never had a break. I never ate. Right. I never exercised. It was awful.
Okay. And so obviously you joined the Master Coach Business Accelerator. Obviously you wanted to become a coach, but what was the primary problem that you were trying to solve? Was it really just having more time freedom, and just what was the main reason that you did that?
The reason was to be happy in what I'd done. Even though I was happy in what I'd done, I wasn't serving it the way I wanted to serve it. Yeah. I had no freedom. Right. I had no time. I had no sleep. I had no exercise. I tried to exercise at 6 o'clock for half an hour. And to be honest, self-love was something I was introduced to when I started attending your. I didn't know what self-love was. Looking after everybody else. Right. I have 7 children, 7 grandchildren. I'm a single parent and running the show and trying to build a coaching practice, which was my dream.
Yeah. So let's get to the juicy stuff. Tell me, for the viewers that are watching, what did you do in your first 12 weeks in terms of income, number of clients? What did you do first 12 weeks?
Well, let me say, I started off when I joined you. I had 8 clients, £1,500 each, and I was earning 600. And in 12 weeks, I got to 9 clients and 27K. 27K in 12 weeks. I called it 25 till I went back to calculate for this, and it was actually 27. I've always
27. So £27,000 in your first 12 weeks.
In my first 12 weeks, and that was that was the wake up call of wow, it could really happen. Yeah, amazing.
So, what's life like now, Jackie? What's it like now? What other cool stuff is happening? What other cool stuff has happened? So like, what financially, what's it like now? But then for me personally, even more importantly than that, what's life like now in terms of like health and well-being and all that kind of stuff? Because it sounds like that wasn't good.
Well, health and well-being, I spend the first 2 hours every day, 5 till 7, about me. My days 5 till 1, I can finish my day. Amazing. I've also added on time. I take my grandchildren to school. I pick them up. It's lovely because from 1 o'clock, it's all mine. I don't have to pick them up to 2:30. I choose if I want extra work. I choose what I do. I no longer coach 1-to-1. Oh my God, that's the difference. I do 1-to-many. I never knew about that till you, Miles. And I mean, that is how the income has actually been created, by doing 1-to-many rather than doing the 1-to-1. I was doing 3 a day, trying to get everybody in. But doing the 1-to-many has changed my life. And I want to say to you, we calculated, I'm still on a 35K because I leave for a drop. So I'm still on 35K from now. So it's not 27. I've increased to 35. I've been with you for a year. And this has allowed me to expand my horizons. I've established new friends, new colleagues. I've got my own academy, Aubrey's Angels. Coaching Academy. I've joined Collaborative with Ravina. I've joined with Verona. Veronica, Sean. I don't know how to say, truly transformed.
You've had radio exposure as well, right?
Well, I was just going to say 4 radio stations I've actually been on. I got called for the 75 Windrush from a radio station that I had never heard about. I've been asked to speak in France. I've done the Worldwide Mental Health for the Women's Day, the Poetry Spoken Words for Women, Empowering Women, 21st Century Women. I've had so many opportunities. I've got and networking, outdoor networking for coaches, indoor networking for coaching. And I also do a master coaching one, and I do your emotional advanced mastery coach. Just brought me to what I am. And actually, I focused on that. It's been amazing, Miles. It really has. I've empowered others, actually. I've really empowered others because, Rabina, we've all been trying to be coached a long time, but I've really empowered others. They've seen this change. And I can actually say these people are actually telling me I walk my talk. And that's more than anything. It's not a dream anymore.
Amazing. Last question, Jackie. This video right now is being watched by people that are at the beginning of their journey. They're probably on the foundation training watching it, and now there's potentially opportunity for them to move forward on their journey, complete their accredited master coach training, and potentially go on and maybe join the business accelerator and potentially do what you've done and in the kind of income you're earning. What's your best advice for them that are watching, the ones that are like, yeah, this is what I want to do, you know, not so much those people, but people that are like, oh, I'm not sure. Like, what's your best advice for those people, Jackie?
Well, the start thing is you've got to believe to achieve, and to truly transform and embrace your life. Each individual has to have faith in themselves. You have to be honest with your capabilities as well. And it's about that belief. Everybody needs a coach. I screamed it all the way through your program. Everybody needs a coach. I mean, we all don't think but a coach is not because you're broken. And that's where I'm trying to say to people, to embrace and accept.
Next level.
Yeah, it's a next level, because you've got to embrace and accept everything wholeheartedly, Miles, because the changes will propel forward if you accept them. Then it's not broken. Remember, we all possess this incredible power to change our own lives. We all know our destiny, and it all begins with us. And it's about having that guide, that mentor, that person, which I'm going to give you here, that speaks the bravery and tells the truth and doesn't try to please you. And the one thing, everybody, I want you to know is, Miles told me from day one, this wasn't a get easy and get rich quick scheme. Whereas I'd gone on other programs and they made me feel that. And I think that's why I felt so much failure. Whereas from day you said, coach your butt off, coach your heart off. So what I'm going to say is, listen to Miles. I mean it. Listen, accept what you need to change, because if you don't, you will never change it. But more all together you're strong, you're alone you're weak. And Miles has created this Accelerator Academy where we're all like brothers and sisters and friends, and we all can reach out. And I think, Miles, to be saying, if you understand your desires and you understand how to motivate yourself, do not rely on other people to motivate you. You know what you've got to do, and don't blame other people for what you don't do. If you can put these strategies in place, which is know what you want, why you want it, then you can look at how you're going to get it. Then look at how long you're going to get it. I didn't know all this before I met you. And then at the end is, how will I feel when I've got it? I now have a bubble and a dream where I used to have all. So thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Give it up for Jackie Bowman.
It's been a pleasure.